Hello, and welcome to season three, episode 43 of Quaint and Cozy KC. I am your host, Lainey Renee, and you are listening to me, and I'm in the Kansas City area. And right now, we are gearing up for the World Cup. We've got football all around us right now for the next month or so. So that's pretty exciting. But you know what? I'm probably not going to be going to any of the events. I might go to like a watch party, but I'm not going to be at the fan festivals and all that stuff. I'm like, that's a little too peoply for me, but I'm supporting everyone who is going out there and showing up and showing out for our city, showing the world what we can do. But I want to talk to you about some adventures that I've been going on pre-World Cup, if you will. And I'll start off in the Crossroads. Then I'll tell you about the children's fountain, and then we'll go to Crown Center, and then I'll talk about the Rosedale neighborhood. I have been busy. And then, of course, I'll find a little bit of comfort to talk about. Uh, like, some comfort on the fly since I didn't prepare anything this week. But yes, some comfort on the fly. Okay, now let's start off in the Crossroads. So I've been to the Crossroads a couple of times in the past couple of weeks. So it started off with I met with a friend for lunch at Boulevard Tavern, and I was in the Crossroads, and I hadn't been down there in a little bit, like probably it felt like maybe I hadn't been down there in like maybe a month or so, and they've changed all the parking. So I was like, oh hey, so now they've got parking in the middle, like they have these little medians set up. I kind of low key like it. It's a little, it's a little easier, I think, to navigate traffic and everything. And I think it's going to be more pedestrian friendly, but we'll see how that all turns out because I went on a Saturday afternoon a couple of weeks ago, and I love the Crossroads neighborhood. I really do. I think it's especially in the daytime because, I am more of a daytime person, really, honestly, when it comes to a lot of my adventures. A lot of them happen before 7 p.m. Okay. If I'm honest, 8 p.m., sometimes 9 p.m. if I'm really, really feeling adventurous. But so I was out there and, I loved it. It was really easy to kind of like walk around the sidewalks. Of course, the Crossroads filled with art galleries and cool little restaurants and cool little spaces and all of that, and seeing all the people in the daytime. Because I remember, when I first moved here years ago, you wouldn't see, like, a lot of times people were in the Crossroads for First Fridays, and you'd see them on the weekends, like at night. But in the daytime, it was kind of like, kind of a ghost town or whatever. But we had a lot of people like walking around, and I'm told that's kind of like what it's like now, the Crossroads on the, the weekends and everything like that. I was there in I think I was there around maybe it was like 11:15 or so in the morning, but I got there a little bit early just so I could walk around. Lots of great brickwork, lots of great architecture. If you're like me and you like to kind of you appreciate some good brickwork, definitely check out the Crossroads. And of course, cute little coffee shops, cute little restaurants. Parking can be a challenge. So if you can take any kind of ride share, that would probably be cool. Or if you can get there on the earlier side, or hey, like, hey, it's old school. I always tell my friends, if you're up here and you want me to, come to my house, park your car, I'll go drop you off someplace, and then you can get like a ride share back to your car, something like that. I'm totally fine with doing that. So, of course, like within reason. Okay, I know some of my friends, family are listening, are like, oh yeah, okay, I forgot that she'll do that for me. But on a limited basis now, on a limited basis. But yeah, so just be mindful about the parking situation, and sometimes you have to park and you might have to walk a long ways away. So if you've got older people with you or people that have a hard time like walking for more than a block or so, just kind of keep that. That's something to keep in mind. Okay, now we are leaving the Crossroads and all the beautiful brickwork. So many cool things down there to see. And we are headed to the Children's Fountain. Now, I am back up north at the Children's Fountain, and I would drive past this place and I'm like, oh, this looks kind of cool. And then like I would just kind of like my mind would just like float someplace else. I'm like, yeah, I should check that out. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and check this out. It was like a Friday, and so I went around and I was like, where do I park at? And I'm like, oh, there actually is parking. I just was like so captivated by the fountains because you can kind of see the fountains when you're going down Burlington. Now, this is not very far away from um it's not very far away from downtown North Kansas City. So it's kind of in that area between, downtown North Kansas City, and then when you're kind of headed closer back to Gladstone, it's in that little area. But there's parking, And it's a nice little fountain. And they use so what I really appreciate about this is that it's a fountain that was kind of, its purpose is to celebrate children. And so they actually use like real children, I mean, not in the statues, but they kind of, used real model, like children, like child models to kind of, get the figures, and all of the figures are just, they're joyful. There is a boy with crutches, a ballerina, a boy playing soccer, a boy standing on his head, and a girl wading into the pool of the fountain. And they're about 8 or to 9 feet tall. So yes, this is like, and it's beautiful. They've got the, like, I think at night they have like the lights on and stuff like that. It's really nice. I did not, go in the evening time. I was there kind of like I was there like in the, well, it's kind of like day turning into evening, but it wasn't like late or anything like that. It was still pretty light outside. So I guess this fountain was first turned on June 21st, 1995, and it was designed by Larkin Aquatics. And the dedication plaque says the bronze figures represent children everywhere to whom this fountain is dedicated, and the activities that shape young lives, making childhood a joy. So I've got all my information from the kcparks.org website, and I will link that to my show notes as I always do. But it's a fun little place to go. I posted it on my TikTok, and so many people are like, "Oh my gosh, where is this?" My Quaint and Cozy KC TikTok, like, "Oh my gosh, where is this?" I definitely want to take, my people there. So yes, I appreciate it. There's some places to sit, beautiful flowers, a nice little pathway to walk around. So yes, definitely like a really cool place to maybe like go and have a picnic, share a sandwich with someone, or just have a sandwich and kind of like watch the water flow. Yeah, a nice little place for that. And beautiful trees. I was like, I had to stop myself because I would have stayed there for hours, just, you know, recording the trees and taking, photos of the trees. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're on a schedule. You are on a schedule, Lainey. You gotta get going. But yes, a nice little place for a nice little respite. Okay, now we are going back into the city. Okay, we are at Crown Center. I had not been to Crown Center in a very long time. And Crown Center is one of those places when I was younger, we would go at least once a month, right? That was what we did, like pre-internet, whatever. A kid from, raised in Topeka, like going to Kansas City was a big deal. So we went maybe every 4 to 6 weeks. And of course, we had to stop by Crown Center. But as an adult, I've only been there like a handful of times, I'll be honest with you, because I just forget that about Crown Center. I really do. And so I had a chance to go because I was already in the Crossroads, like from earlier. I was in the Crossroads. And so, we went to my friend and I, we went to Crown Center, and like there was like all kinds of shops in there. And I mean, again, I hadn't been there in a long time. And also there were the flags for the World Cup. I think they're probably gonna have some kind of event there. So I was able to like, take some pictures and do videos. That's on my it's on my TikTok right now. It'll eventually make its way to YouTube and all that. But yes, it was so much fun. I mean, I didn't stay too long. I just kind of like looked around, took some pictures, but I'm definitely going to head back to Crown Center because again, it's been too long, and I'll take a little bit more time. This last time I didn't, have a lot of time. I was kind of on a clock, but it was a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend. It's one of those places like if someone says, "Hey, where should I do in Kansas City?" Crown Center. Now, parking can be a little challenging, but there is parking available. And most places, if you buy something, they will validate your parking. So that's something to know. There's just really cool shops in there, and it's like really delicious restaurants in there as well. And there's a barbecue museum, a museum of barbecue. And I like next time I'm gonna take the time and go to that, but I just didn't have the time when I was walking through there, but I definitely made a note of it. And it's one of those places where if you just decide, hey, I just want to do one thing on Saturday, go to Crown Center. And because there are a lot of places to explore. So it's literally like you go down there, get down there by, I would recommend getting there by like 10 a.m., something like that, and just like walking around. And you could probably spend a good 2 hours just walking around inside of Crown Center. Then also, and of course, checking out the Museum of Barbecue, and then going outside. Hopefully, it's a nice day, and like kind of walking around the plaza that they have there, like the Crown Center kind of plaza area. Um, and yeah, you could do a whole day at Crown Center, right? Um, one of the fun things that we used to do as kids is, we would go and hang out, in Crown Center and like just do a lot of people watching. It was just a lot of fun, especially during the holidays. Although it can get really hectic down there, it's gorgeous for the holidays. So again, something to kind of like, think about. And they've got their own lights down there as well. Okay. I'm leaving Crown Center. Bye bye, Crown Center. And now I'm headed to the Rosedale neighborhood, and that is on the Kansas side. So the KCK side, I'm in the Rosedale neighborhood, and I'm over there by there is this lovely coffee shop, and I will review it on my Aunt Lainey's Kitchen podcast, my food podcast. It's called Three B's Pottery and Coffee Shop. So this is a pottery place, retail space that is also a coffee shop, which is pretty cool. And it's like this space, and it's really and it's in the Rosedale neighborhood, and across from it is this lovely church, and oh my gosh, it's such an it's so funny because I love I love like, looking at the brickwork of churches. So Holy Name of Jesus Parish is across the street. So when I was kind of I was exploring the neighborhood a little bit, beautiful trees, kind of the outside of 3B's, the coffee shop there, it's got this nice vibe. There's like a swing you can sit on, like a little wooden swing you can sit on. They have like this outdoor seating. I'll talk about that a little bit more on my Aunt Lainey's kitchen podcast. But it's just a nice, and it's just like a really scenic kind of walk. And then across the street, as I mentioned, is the Catholic Church, is the Holy Name of Jesus Parish Catholic Church. And the brickwork is amazing. So I walked around there and I took video and pictures of the church, the stained glass windows. I love stained glass windows. Oh my gosh. If there's a tour of stained glass windows in Kansas City, sign me up. Wouldn't that be a great tour? Like a stained glass. I'm looking this up in real time if they've got a Kansas City tour because I would get on that tour bus. I definitely would get on that tour bus. I don't see where they're doing that, but if they ever decide to do that, if you're listening to me and you're like, man, I have a bus license, I could do tours. If you ever decide to do a stained glass Kansas City tour, wow, it looks like there are some tours. Um, but yes, perhaps there are some tours. I'll have to do some more research on that, and I'm gonna make a note of that. But man, whew, stained glass, and I'm all yours for stained glass. It's just so beautiful, and every glass tells a story. So yes, I spent some time. I probably spent about 10-15 minutes actually just filming the building and the stained glass and everything like that because it's just beautiful. Okay, now we're here for some comfort. Now, what are some comforting things that we can think of? Now, I usually come up with a show or like a creator to follow because I'm always like, let's do a creator that we can follow and all of that. But I'm kind of thinking maybe instead of that, like maybe instead of sending people to creators all of the time, I'll still do that. Maybe what I want to do is ask, the listeners, like what brings you comfort like right now in your life? What is something that brings you comfort? What is something that you want to be doing? Like as far as like quaint and cozy things, like what's an area of Kansas City, or if you're listening outside of Kansas City, of your city or town or even county that you want to explore? And what's stopping you? Is it a financial thing like, hey, it's so far away, I really can't afford the gas money, or hey, it's like $20 to get in there, but I'd love to get in there. Like, what is stopping you? What is it on your comfort thing? And then if it is too expensive, what's a good alternative for right now until you do have the money to, or even it might be a time thing and not a money thing to do that. So again, just something like that would bring you comfort. Write that down, maybe five things that are bringing you comfort right now. And then if there's something on the list that you're like, gosh, I really, want to go to this museum. I really want to like get into this museum lifestyle or the park lifestyle. You know, I can't do it right now. Just do what you can. To me, that's really what comfort, that's really what finding your comfort is about. Like, shooting for the moon, right? Like, yeah, I really want to go to MoMA, sometime, but realizing, hey, I'm in the middle of Missouri right now and I cannot afford to get on a plane and go to the coast to visit some of these coastal city museums. What can I do right now? What can bring me comfort? And for me, so many of these smaller museums bring me comfort, these small historical sites, and talking to people, talking to the guides, and they it brings me comfort just learning more and more about the place where I live. And some of it I learned as a kid, but some of it I didn't learn as a kid, or some of it I forgot. So, one of the things for myself that's bringing me comfort is that I am slowly learning more and more about where I live. And then also I'm really appreciating people in my life. Like I've always felt like I was appreciative, but I'm really appreciating all the friends and family members that I have and love in general, that I am experiencing right now, and just all the really cool places that I've got on my list to explore that are not very far away from me, that are within, 20 minutes drive. Who knew? So many things. I always say, man, I hope I don't run out of things to do. And then I, get up on my Facebook events thing and I'm like, wait, they're doing this? Like, what is that? All the festivals that I've been looking at. In fact, on June 13th, I'm going to be super busy, doing something, but there are like 8 other events that look super interesting. I will not be doing those because again, I can only, do so much, whatever. But like, I'm excited to know that I know those events are going to have a good turnout. I just have a feeling they're going to have a good turnout of people because, people really want to learn about different cultures and they really want to kind of do these festivals and break bread with people and learn about what's going on and their experience and all of that stuff. And yeah, so that makes me very excited, and that brings me comfort. And the World Cup being here, even with everything going on, just, seeing some of the heartwarming stories of local people getting to learn about, cultures outside of this part of the country, this part of the world is very heartwarming for me. And then seeing everybody come together because of the World Cup. I know I mentioned that in my previous episode, but really seeing that happening, and I get to be in the city where that's happening, although I'll probably only go to like maybe one watch party or two watch parties. um it's exciting knowing that there are cities that are putting on like these watch parties for everybody and bringing the community together, and I that really brings me a lot of comfort. And I just urge you, if you're listening right now, and to go and make that list of the things that are bringing you comfort right now, and then seek out creators on social media, or online, that are kind of like doing those things, like other museum explorers, other park hike people, the people that hike the parks or whatever. They're on the trails all the time. Like, I really implore you to like check those people out. And also, if you are kind of like, well, I don't know where to start, the Kansas City Passport to Adventure, I've talked about this before. They have a huge list of places to go in Kansas City, and you can find this at just about any museum. And so how you started is there are 22 participating passport sites. So you pick up the passport booklet, and then you do as many as you can, get at least 12 of the 22 sites. And there's it's kind of like a cute little scavenger hunt. And there's so many places, you guys, places I haven't been to yet. So I'm kind of excited to kind of like, explore them. Like some of these places I went to last year. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going to go back there," but because I've already been, and I'm trying to just kind of like, with the exception of a couple of places, I'm trying to just kind of do go places I have never been before. Just, because in the interest of time and all that other stuff. But I could go on forever about comfort things. But if you want more information about me, if you want to see some comfort, you want to see the places I'm going, and people tell me I'll get DMs from people, sometimes just comments like, you are inspiring me to like, explore places, nearby. And oh my gosh, I did not know Kansas City had so many cool places. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't either a few years ago. And now I'm like, oh wow, I'm really excited for this. And so you can find me on TikTok, Quaint and Cozy KC, on Instagram, YouTube. You can find me on Facebook as well. And yeah, just keep on living that Quaint and Cozy KC life. And take care, everybody. Be safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.